Hey guys, and welcome to An Introduction to Ancient Greek, a course by CUNY Classics. CUNY Classics exists to promote the teaching of the classics, including literature, history, mythology, and ancient languages like Latin and Greek. We believe that everyone should have access to this knowledge and that these subjects inspire us to look to the past for a better understanding of the future. I will be guiding you through this course, which will contain 6 lessons and will go through verbs, nouns, articles, and some vocab along the way. Although this is an introduction to ancient Greek, you will have the knowledge to translate some adapted sentences of true ancient Greek text. For this lesson, we'll be focusing on the alphabet. As I take you through this lesson, try and notice the similarities between the ancient alphabet and the English one. Also, I would like to shout out Introduction to Greek, 3rd edition by Cynthia W. Shelmerdine and Susan C. Shelmerdine, as this book is what I based my lessons off of, and it really helped me create these lessons. Our first 2 letters are alpha and beta. They make A and B sounds, so A and be. Notice that alphabet comes from the Greek alpha and beta, alphabet. Our next 3 letters are gamma, delta, and epsilon. Gamma makes G sounds, G, delta makes D sounds, D, and epsilon makes E sounds, E. Next we have zeta, eta, and theta. Zeta makes Z sounds, Z. Eta typically makes A sounds. I like to remember this by thinking A, ta, it makes A sounds. Theta makes TH sounds, so th. Next, we have iota and kappa. Iota makes I sounds, so I, E, any of those I sounds. And kappa makes K sounds, k. All right, here's our first example word. Try and see if you can pronounce it by yourself. It's pronounced cheton, and it means less or fewer. Our next example word, try and sound it out by yourself. It's pronounced ergon, and it means work or deed. Try to pronounce this one on your own. It's pronounced dia, and it means through. Our next letters are lambda, mu, and nu. Lambda makes L sounds, mu makes M sounds, and nu makes N sounds. So L, M, and N. Try this. It's pronounced chi, and it means and you'll see it a lot in ancient Greek. Our next letters are xi and omicron. Xi makes X sounds and KS sounds, so x. Omicron makes simple O sounds. Try this one. This one's also very common in ancient Greek. It's pronounced ego, like the waffle, and it means I. It's a pronoun. Our next letters are pi and rho. Pi makes P sounds, so P, and rho makes R sounds, R. Try this one. It's pronounced agora, and it means marketplace. This next letter is a little weird. It is sigma, and it makes S sounds. You'll notice that there are 2 forms. The form on the left is much more common. However, the form on the right only shows up when the sigma is the last letter of any given word. So keep that in mind when you're reading Greek. The form on the right is only shown when it is the last letter of any word. Here's our next example word. Try to pronounce it by yourself. It's pronounced sophos, and it means wise. Here's our next example word. It's pronounced bios, and it means life. And here's another example word. Try to pronounce it by yourself. It's pronounced theos, and it means God. Next, we have tau and epsilon. Tau is pronounced just like a T, ta. Epsilon can be pronounced like a U or a W, or w. Our next letters are tricky. Phi, chi, and psi. Phi is pronounced PH, F, Chi is pronounced CH, ch, and Psi is pronounced PS, ps, ps. And here's our last example word. Try to pronounce this one by yourself. It's pronounced philos, and it means friend. Our last letter is omega, pronounced like a fuller O, O. Now we have some diphthongs. We have alpha and iota, isle, I. We have omicron and iota, oi, ointment. We have epsilon and iota, I, ate, fright, A. We have upsilon and iota, we. We have alpha and upsilon, ow, cow. We have epsilon and upsilon, ew, feud. And we have omicron and upsilon, oo, soup. And here is the entire alphabet laid out for you, both in uppercase and lowercase forms. And you may notice that there are some letters in ancient Greek that look like letters that we have in an English alphabet, but don't necessarily correspond to it. So we laid some out here for you. So you can see rho, lowercase rho, and uppercase rho both look like P's, but they sound like R's. Mu's can look like U's, but they sound like M's. Uppercase upsilons look like Y's, but they're upsilons. So we just have to remember and memorize these ones in particular, because often they trip people up. Thank you guys so much for watching this first lesson. The next one will be out very soon.